Well, good evening. Welcome to Evening Chat with my campfire at the campsite. You see the little campfire going in the bottom corner there is burn ban going on, so we have to burn a propane portable campfire because of the burn ban. A little bug light in the back there. So I hope I'm lit up enough where you can see me good enough. And we got little Jackson here. Had to be in the video, buddy. He's down there, my feet staring up at me. I probably can't see him yet. He'll probably jump up here sooner or later. But anyway, where there's smoke, there's fire. So that's kind of how I'm going to lead into what I want to talk about tonight. I don't know if any of you are smoking, never tried to quit smoking, had trouble quitting smoking, battled with quitting smoking. I did many times over the years, off and on. Couldn't quite kick the habit, and even tried smokeless tobacco for a while. Helped me quit breathing in the cigarettes, but then I was, still on the smokeless, still addicted to the nicotine. So I was pondering one time about back in 2017, March of 2017. So I guess that's been about 8 years ago, 19, 20. Yeah, about 8 or so, going on 9, I was so. But I was like, I've got to quit this. Somehow I've got to quit this. And I've been going to church for a while, man, for a long time, and got closer and closer to the Lord. Hope you can hear me okay. I'm not wearing my mic. I don't want to get too loud this evening. But anyway, not that I'm worried about anybody hearing me, just maybe they should hear too. But I got to thinking about it, what's the first thing you want when you get out of bed? Is, boom, light up a cigarette. Okay, well, how am I going to snuff that fire out? Snuff those butts, so to speak. I thought, well, I was down to no cigarettes. I had a pack I need to get one evening, one night. And I thought, well, I'll go buy one pack, and this is the last pack. And I thought about, I've tried patches. People try patches, pills, tried cold turkey, this and that. And I've tried them all and tried the vape, and the vape isn't good for you either. They found out, a few years later, it can cause a lot of troubles. So anyway, I got to thinking about that, and I'm like, well, you know what? What if we just hand it to the Lord? And this is my last pack, and I'll smoke one before I go to bed at midnight. That's it. So I did. And I woke up the next morning and thought, well, there's that urge. You want to light up first thing when you get up. I'm like, that's mistake number one. And so I didn't light up. Went as long as I could without lighting up. And I'd say I'd went probably 4 hours or so. And then I lit one, and then I made myself wait again. And it might have been probably another 4 or 6 hours, something like that. And then I made myself wait again. And I waited till, again, right before I went to bed, I smoked one. And, I made that pack of 20 cigarettes last, oh my gosh, it seemed like almost a week. And I went to get up the next morning, I put it off lighting up, and waited as long as I could. And I just kept waiting longer and longer each time before I'd light up a cigarette. And then when I did, it seemed to help. It seemed to get easier and easier as I went. And as the week went by, I was running out of that pack of cigarettes. And I got down one day I was waking up in the morning, and I went all the way through that night just fine. and I had one cigarette left that day. And I smoked that cigarette that night at midnight before I went to bed. And I laid down and went to sleep because I've been getting up fine in the morning the past several days before that without bothering at all, waiting for a long time. Went most of the day, it seemed like. And then I got up that next morning with 0 cigarettes left. Like I said, I didn't have no desire when I first got up like I usually had. And all this time I've been praying about it too. The Lord to give me relief and break me of this habit and help me get over this. And I went all the way that night till bedtime. Not a problem whatsoever. Not a bit of problem. Went to bed. This went on for like a couple days. And about 2 days later, I really don't know what it feels like, but I am assuming, and because it was horrible, and it was awful. So I'm assuming it was like a drug addict, a hard drug addict going off of drugs. Oh man, it was the worst thing I'd ever experienced in my life. About 2 evenings later, about 5 or so in the evening, and man, I wanted a cigarette so bad. I mean, I would have gave anything for a cigarette. I wanted to go get one so bad. And I would have done anything for one. And I said, wait a minute. I've turned this over to the Lord all week, and I've weaned myself down, helping myself as well. And that's what He expects you to do, is you also help yourself in anything in life. And I said, Lord, take this away from me. I'm no longer a smoker. I refuse to smoke another cigarette. I am no longer a smoker. Never again. Please take this away. And I just kept praying over again and over again and over again. I mean, it was so terrible at first. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like it got worse and worse as I went. And it was about an hour, maybe. And it's just like a whole weight just boom, just lifted off my shoulders, just like that. Just all of a sudden, just boom, it was gone. And I had no desire at all. And I felt great. I felt good. It's like it's almost like kind of the saying, you need to be born again. It was almost like that. And kind of trying to describe it, but then ever since then, like they say, some people have triggers. Even though they quit smoking, the trigger will set them off. They'll start back, like they'll go somewhere, they'll have a drink of alcohol, a beer, or a number of different things can trigger. Well, after that even happened, I had no desire for one ever again. And I went to, there's people walking by, the dog is growling while I'm trying to make this video. But anyway, that's okay. And I'd walk by people like I'd go to the restaurant, go out to eat, and I thought, boy, here's the trigger. Because usually you don't you want to smoke and want to light one up right after you get done eating, And I go walking into this restaurant a few days later, and there's this guy just standing outside the front door. In our state, you couldn't smoke inside. You had to stay so many feet from the door, and I was approaching the front entrance and had to walk right by this person who was smoking, and he blew that as he was blowing that smoker. Man, I got a big whiff of that, and you know what? I didn't want it. It smelled awful. It made me sick. I wanted to puke. And ever since then, that's the way it's been. Anytime I get around somebody, if I can smell the smoke or breathe it, or somebody's even been smoking several minutes ago, I can still smell it, and it makes me want to get sick. I just can't even stand it. What do I got to eat that evening? I was fine. That didn't trigger it. That didn't trigger it at all. And then time went by, it just seemed like every now and then I'd get a little bit of an urge, it felt like, just a little bit. And I don't know what it was. Like I said, I never did figure my trigger out, but I get a little bit of an urge, and it just ignore it, and like within seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. I mean, it'd pass. It was gone. They wouldn't think over about it, and it got less frequent and less frequent and less frequent that would ever happen. And I had a drink of alcohol once after I quit. That didn't bother me a bit, not one bit. And that used to make me want to light one up and smoke it. Most definitely, that and eating was the worst two things to me, but it never did affect me ever again. And with God's grace and His help, it's the only way that I know to explain how that I ever got through that and I ever actually quit. It's the only way. Without Him, you can't do anything. I'll tell you, nothing at all. Nothing in this life whatsoever. And it's been 8 going on 9 years now. Haven't touched another one. And I have no desire to. If I smell one even yet to this day, it makes me want to vomit. You know, it's just, I can't imagine what I smelled like when I used to smoke, because it would get in your clothes, you know. And if you smoked in the house, it gets on your walls. I remember the house I moved out of right before I quit smoking. This is before I quit smoking. I had to pay somebody to wash and clean down all the walls of the entire home just to get it to where I could sell it. It was awful. I mean, I swear that nicotine and smoke was an inch thick on inside that house. And I'm like, the house I live in now, I never did smoke in it, and I lived in it right before I quit, and I always run outside to smoke. Stepped out the door, never did smoke in it. Then I quit, and I'm so glad I never did smoke in that house. It's been great. My vehicles are cleaner. I never have to clean the windshield hardly on the inside anymore. I used to get all gummed up all the time. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. The different things that affects in your life, and it's just a nasty, nasty habit, and a nasty thing to do, you know. And so, best advice I can give is, you know, those pills, those vapes, the vapes are gonna harm you too. I mean, that's as bad or not worse than smoking these days with the stuff that's in there. The patches, you know, if you tried things and it didn't work, and I've known a lot of people that's tried, couldn't quit. And then I've known people that I've told my story to that did what I did, and they gave it to the Lord and let Him be in control. And they quit. They actually quit. So, something to think about. And so that's what I wanted to share with you. So, I wasn't to really be a preacher or preach at you, but I just wanted to share with how I quit smoking, what worked for me. And you know, it's a good thing, a good fire, and a good thing to snuff those things out and never touch them again. Here we got one dog in the lap. This is Jackson. He decided he had to be the video subordinated. Come here, buddy. Get up here. You want to get in here so people can see you? Come on. Get up here. There you go. There's Buddy. Yep, there's Buddy. Say hi, guys. Anyway, this is our last night here at this campground. Camping this evening, and gonna enjoy a little campfire. I got a few weenies here in a little bit. I'm gonna cook on that portable fire pit. You can actually cook some weenies on it. Won't hurt it. And that's what we're gonna have for supper. Of course, they're gonna have something. You know, I don't spoil these guys at all. No way. They are not my dogs. They're not spoiled one bit. But anyway, hope everyone has a good evening, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and to hit that notification bell so you know when any new videos come out. Thank you. There you go, boys. It's done. It's done. Done. I got that done. When we cook some weenies, come on. Cook some weenies, get down. Let me cook some weenies. Cook some wings. I'm pretty sure we got it all. I hope I didn't turn it off too early, or I have to do it again.